They thought the fire was punishment, that the setbacks were your ending, that the betrayal, the silence, the losses were enough to finish you off for good. But what they didn't realize is you don't break like them. You burn different. You didn't fall apart, you forged into something stronger. While they were watching for the collapse, you were becoming something the pain couldn't touch. Something the world doesn't know how to handle. A soul that survived everything meant to destroy it and came back with a smirk. You didn't just get through the chaos, you absorbed it. You studied it. You let it teach you what safety never could. And now you walk with a kind of heat that makes liars sweat, betrayers shift, and cowards flinch. You carry the memory of everything they did to dim you, and yet you glow like they never even touched you. That's not ego, that's evolution. That's what happens when someone gets tired of being the victim in someone else's story and decides to become the fire instead. They wanted you to shrink, to apologize for your strength, to explain your silence. But you don't do that anymore. You've outgrown the stage where your power needed validation. You don't need them to understand you. You are not an explanation. You're a reminder of what happens when the underestimated finally stop doubting themselves. Of what it looks like when the one they buried rises not as a ghost, but as a reignition. And now they want to come close again. They want to speak your name with respect now that they see you winning. But where was that energy when you were crawling through the fire alone? Where was that support when you were learning how to breathe through betrayal? You didn't become powerful by accident. You became powerful because no one else showed up. So you did, for yourself, again and again and again. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your glow-up. You don't owe softness to the ones who only showed up when you started winning. Let them call you cold. Let them call you too much. Let them talk. Because while they whisper, you build. While they question, you move. While they sleep on you, you light the match. And by the time they realize the fire didn't break you, it crowned you, it'll be too late for them to catch up. Now you wear that crown like it grew from your scars, because it did. Every crack in your soul became a passage for light. Every time they doubted you, it added weight to your steps, not to slow you down, but to make sure you left footprints too deep to erase. You didn't just survive what they threw at you, you absorbed it, recycled it, and turned it into fuel. They gave you chaos, and you built a kingdom. They gave you silence, and you built a voice loud enough to echo across every room you were once kept out of. There's a reason you walk differently now, not faster, not louder, just heavier with purpose, with power, with proof. The proof that you're not who you were, that the ashes they left you in were never your grave, they were your launch pad. You weren't buried, you were planted. And now, you don't grow like everyone else. You erupt quietly, relentlessly, like a storm that waited too long to stay silent. And the truth? They missed the old you, the one who second-guessed, who stayed small, who swallowed her voice just to keep peace with people who wouldn't even throw her a rope when she was drowning. But that version of you died in the fire. The new you, she's untouchable. She knows her worth, her power, her limits, and how to burn it all down if disrespected. You learn not to be available to energy that doesn't match your growth. You learn not to give softness to hands that only know how to bruise. So now you protect your peace like it's royalty. You guard your mind like it's a kingdom. You don't just show up, you arrive. And when you do, the air changes. Not because you're arrogant, because you've been through it. And you earned the right to take up space, speak your truth, and never explain your crown to anyone who watched you struggle and stayed silent. This isn't a comeback. This is your era. The one you bled for. The one you cried for. The one you almost didn't survive long enough to see. But now you're here, crowned by fire, protected by pain, and feared by anyone who thought they could play with you and walk away untouched. They never expected the ashes to rise. They expected ruins, not royalty. They expected silence, not strategy. But what they failed to understand is that fire doesn't just destroy, it refines. And you didn't come out of the fire broken. You came out bulletproof, tempered, sharpened, glowing with a heat that doesn't beg to be understood, it dares the world to try. You don't speak just to be heard now. You speak to shake foundations. You speak to remind the world that the quiet ones, the broken ones, the ones who almost gave up, those are the ones who come back as legends. And that's what you are now. Not just a survivor. Not just a warrior. You are the standard, the force, the line that can't be crossed, the name that can't be erased. And those who tried to bury you, now they have to watch you rise with grace they don't understand and power they can't reach. Let them talk. Let them circle. Let them whisper your name like it's a warning. Because it is. You didn't just walk away from your past, you dragged it into the light and rewrote the ending. You didn't run from the pain, you stared it down until it taught you everything you needed to know. This version of you doesn't fear loss, doesn't chase closure, doesn't apologize for being hard to handle. You're not a lesson anymore, you're the aftermath. And anyone trying to test you now better come correct. Because this time, you don't flinch, you don't fold, you finish. So wear that crown like it's welded to your soul. Walk like you've already won, because if they only knew what it took to get here, they'd understand the fire didn't consume you, it awakened you. And now, there's no more hiding, no more waiting. Just you ruling every inch of the world they told you wasn't yours to touch. Wiped in silence. From betrayals you survived without becoming bitter, just better. You don't move out of spite, you move out of memory. Memory of what it took to crawl out of the pit and turn it into a pedestal. They called it attitude. They called it arrogance. But it's not ego, it's evidence. Evidence that you didn't come this far to shrink again. That you've learned how to walk with your head high, not because you think you're better, but because you remember when you couldn't lift it at all. And now your posture is purpose. Your silence is strategy. Your distance is protection. They don't get access to you just because they want it. Access is earned now, and most of them lost it the moment they left you to bleed alone. And the crazy part, you're still not done. You're still rising, still unlocking layers of yourself they never even knew existed. Because while they were watching your glow up, they missed the real flex you healed. Not perfectly, not loudly, but you healed in ways that made you unstoppable. You turned wounds into wisdom. You turned pain into prophecy. And now you walk like revenge isn't even necessary. Because your success is louder than anything they ever said behind your back. This is your throne now, built from every no, every closed door, every underestimation they threw your way. And you don't need to defend it. You are the defense. Let them stare. Let them speculate. Let them wonder how you became untouchable without ever raising your voice. Because that's what happens when the fire doesn't kill you, it crowns you. And now the world's just going to have to bow or burn trying. Like, comment, and subscribe.